welcome to the next podcast. We are already shooting the next one because we couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. And today the flow of conversation would be a little bit different than the last one. Today we have another new important member we have with us that we would like to join. Sarcasm, would you like to go ahead and introduce?
Yes, before I do that, let's address the elephant in the room. Why his name is dressed like he kidnaps 6-year-olds from Bharati Public School? We don't know. Why there are toothbrush popping up and why are his chest hairs on display? These are all questions that we will be answering hopefully in this podcast. But we have with us a very special guest. I won't take too long with the introduction because you will get to hear from her. She was a coach in the Behes community and then a part of the Behes core team. Was part of so many firsts for us in one of the most important years of Behes's existence, 2018-19, and we lived through that period with her by our side. We are very happy to have with us Ms. Shagun Puri.
Please have some Shagun. Thank you. Yes.
Can I also?
Yes, you may. So we have 2 new people sitting with us in the panel, 3 new people if we count Sarcasm as well. So we would like to start it with a formal introduction. We don't actually, we had only one more podcast shooting before this, but we would like to make it a tradition. Would you like to start, Shagun? Please start with a formal introduction.
Formal introduction, like I got on the So I'm Shagun. I am an educator. I am perpetually lost half the times, and also trying to explain my self a lot of times. I completely enjoy being in a classroom, but I have moved away from the classroom, so I keep on finding those spaces.
And would you like to talk about your Behes journey as well? Because we like to market ourselves.
That's very important. Yes, is that. My Behes journey started in very proudly. I hope to say that in its second or third year, I am still debating that. So it started in 2016. My second year of being a teacher, and yes, that was about it. And it's been consistent since then. So it has been what, 7 years, 8 years. I am extremely proud of being a part of my journey because how it has evolved and how it has shaped so many kids in different parts of the city and different parts of the country, not just the city. Yes, I continue to be very happy about it. I also am excited about the quirky things that Behes keeps on doing.
By quirky things, she means me embarrassing myself in front of the camera. Because
Or when there's no camera around, just Chandrika embarrassing herself.
just me.
Has been happening.
Would you like to give your formal introduction, Mr.
Me?
Sarcasm? Yeah.
The teacher. Behes has made me barbad over the last 10 years. First it was only emotionally. Recently it's also financially. And I haven't been able to have a relationship or get married. All my friends are now getting divorced and they have kids.
With a toothbrush in your pocket.
But this exhibitionist shit doesn't run well with me. Suit up, wear perfume, then you have a shot. Right? But yeah. Been very lucky to know amazing people like this, other than the other thing. And yeah, so glad that I got to be here. I saw the first podcast, by the way, and I thought it was lacking in a little star power. So that's why I thought that we need to call Shagun in because Adil, whatever you say, ugly man. It doesn't work. So we thought that we'll call Shagun in and I'll also be there and hopefully that'll be nice. And yeah, of course, I think we should hand it over to a formal introduction. Make sure it's formal.
Yes, it should be formal.
I'll definitely make sure.
Yes.
I'll not talk about my relationship and stuff like that. Hi everyone, I'm Gaurav, exhibitor and has been a part of the community for around like 5-6 years, and I'm just helping us to curate content, curriculum, etc. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He's the one behind the camera and also the one that you will see with the weird surname tag, with the weird username tag on Instagram. Yura is what his username is.
Yes, please don't follow me on Instagram. And it's quite funny, those moments like this.
Yeah, I can. Please, I can. Okay? Okay, so now that formal introduction is last
Bill
one.
put his Instagram thing on this thing so that people don't follow him.
Don't follow it. Okay, so talking about Behes experiences, I think in the last podcast also, what we collectively decided that the craziest Behes experiences, of course, come from the OGs. So this OG has covered. I don't think most of the OG experiences were covered in the last podcast as well.
I don't think we should say OG after the whole show controversy.
I'm sorry. But I think now I don't have any other word apart from. But most of the Behes stories were not completed because the people involved in it are sitting right here, right now. So, would you like to start with your craziest Behes story, Shabana? You must have a list. And I think more than you having a list, it might be events occurring around you rather than you making those events occur.
Unfortunate things that you experience is basically what.
What is the craziest Behes story?
Probably having Nabil as a co-team member.
Let's not go there.
It's been 5 years. We need to stop shitting on the people.
You are one to say. If you showed up at the decennial round as well, I'm pretty sure you will start the opening ceremony with Nabil bashing only.
Even in the last podcast, we just talked about the brief for like 20 minutes.
I'm glad that you cut it off.
Yeah, I have to do it again for this video.
Yes, your craziest story.
So two are coming to my mind, I think. One is, okay, I'll start maybe with, I don't know which one is crazier. So one is the classic one of one of the team members missing their flights and
But
not
who was that?
One of the team members. Let's guess. Who is it?
and not arriving for the meetings, and then people wondering where are we. And so this is 2019 July-Augustish time, and we are trying to fix the Guwahati round.
Yeah.
The round is fixed, of course, but then there are some more conversations happening, and there are more schools that are to be reached out. And then we cannot reach that set person who has meetings scheduled in 4 schools on that very day.
So irresponsible, must say.
We don't tolerate that anymore.
We don't tolerate that at all.
The worrisome thing is that they're actually waiting, and then finally the schools are actually waiting, and there's someone banging at the door of the set person, finding the person didn't wake up. The crazy story was that I was right in school, in a school QBS, and when this happened, and I'm receiving calls from schools that we have our orientation lined up, it's not started yet, etc. But then the person finally made it. In the 4th one out of the 4.
At least he made it to one.
I think we shouldn't be so harsh on this. Mistakes happen. I'm sure maybe the phone got discharged. Then he didn't hear the alarm, or she, or they.
Yeah.
The other crazy story that's coming to my head is the Dehradun round, which just couldn't keep on, like, which just kept on getting postponed. Once it got postponed because there was the Ayodhya verdict that got declared on that very day, and it was day 1. And
When the
we
earth
are-
were flying in the sky all over India.
That happened.
Yeah. How can you not remember such a historic occasion?
I am sorry.
So day 1, we're all prepped up. Everything has been done day before yesterday, like day before that. Everything has been prepped up. The school is ready. Everything is there. The team of volunteers is ready. Schools are going to start coming in. And then at 6:30 or so, we receive a call from a school that, man, the verdict is out. We cannot come. The schools are getting closed and everything. So within 1 hour, the school is panicking, sending everyone away. And then we are stranded at 10:30 that, okay, we don't have a round and we're sitting here. And me thinking, okay, I'm going back. Obviously, I'm going back, me being me. But then I was with 2 very different people, Adil and Akash, and they decided we're not going back. Obviously. And I was just sitting, okay. So then we took off to a 1-day journey, which was also very purely.
Why did you guys go?
The naughty.
No.
Random Behes things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to waking up the set person, I have a crazy story itself has crazy stories.
I think we should recognize that that said person is the one waking all of you guys up now. And,
Oh wow!
we should recognize.
Listen,
Whoever they are.
whoever they are, I'll tell you the craziest story, which led people around the said person's house to believe that I might be a burglar, breaking and entering into a house that is supposed to be their neighbors, and we were supposed to leave at 6:30 a.m. or something, and I'm calling. Now I have been an intern at Behes for 4 or 5 years, and I've been trained for the worst. Okay, so I remembered that if I already called the said person an hour before, and the said person will not pick up, that means the said person will not wake up. So I just felt like, okay, I just show up there. Okay, फिर वहाँ तक पहुँच गया लेकिन. So I showed up at the office of the said person. So I showed up at the office and I'm like banging away and there is no response. Okay, and I was like, I'm calling. I would have called his entire lineage just to wake him up. I thought, Leela Didi, nobody is home. I called Shantu. I felt so bad to wake him up so early in the morning. I'm calling, there is no response. And then I decided कि मैं gate लाऊंगी. ठीक है? I had to climb the gate. You know what the because he's not picking up the call and we're supposed to leave in the next 20 minutes. Okay? And you know what the craziest part was? ये वाला main gate खुला हुआ था. It's not like it's closed. So I thought he must be in his room. No, he was here only. He could have heard all of the bells and everything. Must so रहे ऊपर. And then I entered, and then I woke him up, and he's like acting as if कि मतलब क्या हो गया पता नहीं. Why are you waking me up? Sort of. And I was like, he's like, तू यहाँ कैसे आई? I'm like. Don't ask me that. I was climbing the door, and then I like मैं पीछे मुड़ती हूँ. 5 people staring at me from the park. कि क्या करेंगे? मैं चोरी नहीं करने जा रही हूँ. I'm just going to wake him up. And
I just want to say that 10 साल में 3-4 मीटिंग मिस हो गई हैं. अभी तक याद दिला रहे हैं.
3-4 meetings per year. But yeah, everyone has a crazy story like that.
I only have successful lectures.
Yes.
So every time it's probably because they actually enjoy it. But because every time I try to wake him up, I have to knock a couple of times and he just responds.
Oh.
Are you talking about how we made to the Pune flight very recently? We made it, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough, but I dragged them along and
Sure.
eventually you have to teach these Gen Z people some responsibility.
Let's just say that's all happened.
And you are the most responsible person to take care of that.
Of course.
Yes, of course you are. That is the shit.
Can I have some more narrow pani, please?
But what about you, Salinsan? You are the founder. You are the curator of Behes. Say hi, Ishan.
Some people also say
Say
that
hi to the
they
camera.
destroy
Don't
it.
say hi to us. Say hi to the camera.
So don't come in the camera.
But what about you? What's your craziest experience?
Oh man.
You started this crazy experience.
It will be very difficult for me to narrow down my work. But yeah, just like these guys, their round got cancelled and they went to Dhanwadi. Me and Nemish were in Manali trying to make the Manali round happen. And that got cancelled. So basically we didn't have any money either. So we were like, round hoga to paise aayenge. Phir ek aur hafta khayenge. We didn't have any money, we didn't have any round. So we ended up hitchhiking to a famous village.
Say hi to the camera, Ishan.
And yeah, so just spent the next 2-3 days doing things in Himachal. Please edit all of this.
Doing things in Himachal.
It was fun. It was good. We went on a journey of self-discovery.
Tranquility and peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of peace. And then we were
If already
in that village.
before the conversation even started, Nemish had started giggling. That means that it was a peace and tranquility experience.
We were, yeah, so much time. We were living in a mountain village next to 24 boys from Rohtak.
Oh my God.
And one of them had their birthday.
Oh,
So
peace and what
me and Nemish were very tranquil and peaceful at the moment. They really hungoed our peace and tranquility. So that was, now I think of it, these are all bad romantic experiences. One more time I was just sleeping in a hotel room in Guwahati and then somebody was banging on my door and woke me up. This other time this woman broke into my house and woke me up and said, just terrible experiences in general.
But what about the round? Like any crazy experience in the round that was happening? Like any crisis on the rounds?
Behes is very special experience. All the children are very special, but every round is the same. You just go, you say make some noise, and here you do team number 2, 3, 2, 6, 6, 4, 5, and then somehow it ends.
And then you also say make some noise even when you're miles away.
Yes.
Cue the curious round. So you're at the curious round and Salil sir has missed his flight and he couldn't make it to the curious round. At the same time, a Pune round was also happening. So he sends a video. Okay.
Why do you keep talking about his shortcomings? I don't like it.
I'm not talking about shortcomings, no. I am talking about the love of the community. Will you let me
You
finish?
can just talk about the round. Why
Listen, you have a toothbrush in your pocket, okay? Shut up. I am talking about the beautiful harmony of the community, okay? Because he is miles away in Pune and he sends a video to be displayed in QVS. And in that video that's being displayed, okay, he says this, make some noise. And I thought, okay, video is not yet. People actually started making noise. That's what the beautiful community is about. Okay, Mr.
Something to add on that itself. When he was recording that video, I just entered the room. I think he recorded the video in school itself, and he did say something after like that, make some noise or whatever. So he went like, oh, that's very nice. And that part got blurred because everybody shouted so quickly and like, so loudly that it was not even in the video itself. So the video itself was very awkward and was trying to shoot it, and his main purpose was that when he came as a bolo it's in and it actually did happen, and I was kind of impressed because that kind of dedication for the community is
Yeah,
very hard.
because see, him recording it must be very awkward.
Yeah.
He's in a random room shouting, make some noise.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody passes by would be like, क्या बोल रहे
I
हो?
was
But-
also interested.
Yeah, but we don't remember it. For reasons.
Wow.
He was very tranquil.
Good morning, Mehmet. But for him it must be awkward, but when it was displayed to the community, everyone was screaming, make some noise. And I've been at the other part, like me and Gaurav and even Nemish have been at the other part of listening to this make some noise. So, make some noise सुनते ही ना ऐसे अंदर से ना ऐसे वो एक तो war cry निकलती थी. But yeah, like what would be your craziest, like I think that out of everyone, you would be the people who would have to interact with students the most. So, what would be, say, your craziest or the most special experience to you related to like a student or anybody approaching you saying something? Because the community is now like 16,000 plus students spread all across the country. So you must have some experiences. Like for example, Gaurav was saying the last time, Gaurav or it was Ishan. Ishan was saying the last time that he went to Patna and everybody knew Salil sir as if he is their best friend. कि Salil भैया आप कैसे कहते सब जानते Salil sir को और फिर सब जानते हैं. So what would be your best experiences?
I'd like to start.
Yeah.
My best experience with the camera here. I met this guy when he was in 10th or 11th. We had a session in his school and I was doing jam, just a minute. Then she stand up and start talking. He stood up. I got to know then that he was just there to make my life better. He's like, एक नया वो आया है उसको दिखाते हैं substitute teacher he wanted to treat me as. It ended up being counterproductive because I loved what he did. He stood up and he said, I like to spit. I like to spit on shit, I like to spit on wood, I like to spit on potty, I like to spit on my mother, I like to spit on my mother, I like to spit on the principal, I like to spit on the desk. And it mentioned 1,000, 2,000 things that he liked to spit on. And I was like, ये बंदा सही है.
Wow.
इस
best
बंदे को.
friends.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, content head at Behes.
He likes to
This
spit
was
so
the.
much.
And there's one more in Dehradun, the same round that got postponed at Chumbo. When it finally happened, what happened was there was a kid, we were doing a debate on whether there should be technology to make people immortal. And there was a kid who said, one team said that if we develop this technology, we can bring back Stephen Hawking and all of that. And one kid said, if you bring back Stephen Hawking, is he still going to be in a wheelchair? That was the most hilarious thing I've ever heard come out of a child's mouth. Yes. But let's stop talking about children's mouths for a second. I think Nemish might have something to say.
I really don't.
Is that why you carry around this toothbrush?
No, I was just,
Children have things to say about his mouth.
somebody placed it here just for you guys to make more content out of it. Sorry, mind.
Oh, wow.
Is that a bamboo toothbrush?
No. Only.
I thought that's so opening. Is that a bamboo?
Something that I think of, or even before you raised that question, something when Sadir was saying that we do the same thing, we go to every round, we make some noise, we get the score, we say to whatever, all of that, and we move on. I feel, no, that's not the case. It is every time very, very different. The very spirit that the students bring in, the very spirit, I mean, I've always, and I've been on the other side, been with the teachers, been with the school institutes, I've seen by the time the second day is ending, the teachers have also sort of come along in the wave. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Way lot of head of institutions going along with it and wanting to be a part of it. Yes, so I feel it's very, very different. The feel of it is very different. The statements that come out of very randomly of the debate rooms, be it second day, be it first day, is very, very different. I think coming from that, the statement that he said, that when he was saying that one statement, make some noise, it is actually like a war cry. I don't know how it has become that. It has honestly become that. For me, I was missing that in that 1 or 2 years when we went online. And even more crazy when he or someone was still doing it on the screen, the earphone would be like this, would be made, and or even at Behes, a lot of people's voice completely running out by the end of day 2 or by the starting of day 2. That shows sheer conviction that like just samne students are sitting, they like it, right? They feel that someone is excited with you.
I've been on the receiving end of this line for like a decade or so, and it still sounds exactly the same.
He is saying that I haven't been able to update.
You only see the negative in things. Maybe it's trying to appreciate it.
That's absolutely right.
I don't mean positive or negative. I'm just stating a fact.
What about you? You've been at the receiving end of Make Some Noise as well as his mentorship. Like out of all of us, it's Gaurav and Nevish who have been at the receiving end of his mentorship the most. So what do you have to say about that?
I haven't really been on the receiving end of Make Some Noise a lot, because as soon as it started, I was into the team, doing stuff, going places. So,
Seeking clarity.
But I don't know, I'm still very surprised how exactly, why are people still so excited? Amazes me. The only time I actually had goosebumps on both of my hands was we hadn't even started Behes. We were in Singapore for a round for a debating tournament. Our rivals. So we were there in Singapore, and Behes was our debate coach, and we had a whole delegation with us, and we're sitting there at the closing ceremony in this auditorium, and the best coach award, I think it was called that, the best coach award. No, the best coach of the year award was called out, and somehow, I don't know, his name was wrong. and he stood up, he started, and that is probably the only time when I was actually
Seeing him
amazed,
as
fascinated, and goosebumps on both of my hands, and I'm feeling very emotional. A
yeah.
slight tear falling on my cheeks. Yes,
He's a man.
Yes,
You know the feelings.
that was the only thing that happened.
Yeah.
Because after that, it just got so repetitive.
But I think that is what the beauty of Behes is, that every one of us will always have so many stories to tell, but every one of us will also have different stories or different aspects of it. So make some noise is one of the aspects of it. I also think that it's the way that the opening ceremony has led to, and then it leads to the make some noise, because make some noise comes at the end of it. But the way you carry the entire opening ceremony will also have this impact. And there have been so many opening ceremonies where I think he also stops himself from making so many things. He says it out loud, and then every opening ceremony it has happened, then he always says this line. Sorry, let's ignore that. Every single time. So can you also talk about some of the weirdest thing that happens in the back of the thing? So I'm pretty sure that everyone who's watching right now, what are you doing here? So everyone who's watching right now, everyone who is seeing the shows, they must always have seen that, oh, he's at the front of the stage, or oh, the team is at the front of the stage. He calls us to embarrass ourselves by asking us to show the celebration part of it. I don't want to talk about that. It's so traumatic. I used to, and you know what he does? He's a sadist. Okay, whoever starts hiding, he calls that person only from the depths of the room. He'll be like, "Ah, go there." But they just know that part. And
He should reverse the order. He should do it.
yeah.
Someone else should take it.
No, but the thing is, he doesn't get embarrassed easily.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The key is to be shameless.
The key is to be barbad. That's what they did there. But would you like to talk about the craziest control room experiences?
Before Sharman takes it up,
Yeah.
let's be very careful about what we say. Because Sharman has a fully functioning career going on. We don't want to. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gaurav, would you like to begin?
So I've been part of Behes for a couple of rounds on the back end itself. Not really crazy control room experiences, but in general as to how we manage the teachers, the team, the tournament, etc. etc.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of things because when I was traveling for Pune for the round, so it's not a control room thing, but it's more what we do at the back end for the round.
Yeah.
I had to take a train, 30 hours train to Pune from Delhi, just carrying all the stuff. So carrying that stuff was not problematic. The only thing is what I was supposed to do in that 30 hours. And I tried to find some tranquility, some peace, but it was quite difficult.
Yeah.
So I just somehow paid to the 30 hours thing. Only then eventually landed in Pune, like got the stuff sorted out. So yeah, just basically imagine a couple of people traveling for 30 hours on end and spending this weeks, their weekends, etc., just to make sure that a 2-day event can happen. And that is very unique for every different city.
Yeah.
Because every city has different requirements, different editions, etc. So yeah, I think that in that experience, every control room, every backend experience is crazy in itself. But it's
You could also probably talk about how in this particular experience that you're talking about,
There's a 1,000 rupee fine for tranquility in this. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
what was saying?
control room.
Yes, control room.
Yeah.
About this experience, how you had to console a lot of crying students
Yeah.
I
in
think
the control room.
being someone who has obviously debated the country itself, I've seen teammates cry, bawl, and be mad.
He's talking about the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think you obviously know Aditya Anand. So, when I was part of the committee
Every
itself,
girl knows.
My sister, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on from that.
I'll
Yeah.
probably chop all of this, but
Yeah.
Aditya Anand was a senior of mine in school, and when that bowling, etc., happened, and I did not really care about a lot of stuff because I knew that at the moment I lost the round, it's over. I can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I went out with Aditya Anand. We just I think it was the very first Mahabharat in
This bird.
yeah, this bird exactly. So we just went out, we ate a couple of things, we came back, and so
Yes, that's funny.
Okay, sorry.
Phone silent.
Yes, class monitor. We have our phones silent.
Your toothbrush.
No,
One more drink for Chandrika, please.
it should stay here, okay? Okay, ठीक है. Never shall we complete with the toothbrush?
Drunk से on.
And then we pass it.
हाँ.
Yes.
Because keep them.
ठीक है? Okay.
We're good.
We're golden. Okay. ठीक है. So, moving on from the last conversation where some problematic things were being taken, let's move on from that. So, I would like to now talk about this one fun thing that we always do after the rounds. So, after every Behes rounds, I don't like the way that Nevish immediately giggled. I don't like that. Neither do I account to that, guys. No, I am talking about us as a team. क्या बोलते हैं? Building a community of our own as well. You can't giggle on everything now.
Yeah.
Okay, please. I am talking about positivity. Such, मतलब, mind in the gutter, guys. But anyways,
Us just getting tight as a community.
What are you talking about?
I'm not a part of this
Fun things.
community at all.
We're talking about the fun things that we do after
Yeah.
the round. So
You're saying it like that.
my mind went all the way to all the adventurous sports that we've been to, and paragliding, skating.
Paragliding,
Paragliding, parasailing,
parasailing, yes.
rappelling.
Yeah.
Yes.
We try to do everything which is available to be done in the region. So
One more drink for them.
I don't think we should get him another.
Yes.
But I'm talking about.
Okay, stop. Let's actually do this.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm in the
Yeah.
zone. Yeah.
cut.
Okay. So so anyways, I don't think us drinking from reserved ones is a good idea. It is not reserving anything. But
I disagree.
But I would like to take this opportunity to talk about Shagun ma'am's experience. So I think she was the original voice of reason of Behes. Okay, so whenever you would enter the control room,
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
Who do you think is the voice of reason right now?
right now,
Because Muskan is gone. There is
yeah,
nobody.
right now nobody is the voice of reason.
You're the voice of reason. These
No.
days.
I disagree.
Yeah, no.
Probably sees a lot of water.
Yes, not at all.
Yeah, it's all good, guys. It's all good.
After Shagun ma'am, I think Srishti Di and Muskan took over the being the voice of reason. But
Then,
right
after
now
that,
we're
you
just winging it, guys. Just
Nice possibilities in all of it.
The pause tells you everything.
She's actually just being humble. She
Yeah.
is the voice of reason.
I am not being humble, I'm being honest. There is another H word, honest.
Oh, you're
Let's
not the
stop
voice of reason.
stroking our own egos and continue the
Yes,
podcast.
as I was saying, so I think a proper introduction to Shagun ma'am is required as well. Because she's the one who scouted me, by the way. She's the one who got me into Behes.
Oh shit, it was your fault.
Hey, you only told her to come to doctor, please. Okay. But I think it's not just me, but half of the community from my time and Gaurav's time is very well familiar with Shagun ma'am, right? So there would be this cute little person who would be there like, hi, hello, and consoling every child within the 5-kilometer radius of a Behes opening ceremony. Whether it's anyone she encountered running randomly in the corridor or it's any teacher, everyone, she would be there consoling. So, what is your favorite Shagun ma'am story? Like, do you have any favorite Shagun ma'am story? I believe there should be some. Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Before Shagun became a part of the team and before we started trying to coach her, like, please, up, please, ma'am, please.
Yeah.
Before that, my first memory of Shagun is Maxford School, ground floor at Judicator, is reading the whole time except when speech is happening. Alright, time's up. It was almost like she was trying
Oh,
to
she had a
get.
novel in the hand?
Yeah, she had a book in her hand the whole time whenever
Yeah.
she was at And it was just key, how okay, your 4 minutes start now. As soon as they're done, 666. Like as if, like she was always the person who didn't care what was happening in front of her. The
Yeah.
book was more important.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm like, again, this I told her, ये इंसान
yeah, even till now, like she
Book
also.
recommendation for the audience. When she came here, she was reading Anna Karenina. Yeah. Book recommendation. Just a book recommendation for
Do you
the
have any book recommendation right now?
One more autism for me.
Do you have any book recommendation as of now?
The Passage to North, I think.
Okay.
I definitely loved that because it was talking about this very confusion that people live in coming from Sri Lanka and they have come into Delhi, but then there's extreme heavy divide of racism, of different ethnicities, and of just women. How those, I can never forget those 4 pages, how a life of a woman was described in the city of Delhi and how she sees the eyes of people. So yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
recommend that.
So that's a very interesting topic, migration, that we also covered during our theme as well.
Nice segue, yes.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about migration, I believe majority, not even majority, but like a very major theme in our theme this year would be migration. So how do you necessarily think that migration is the one thing that has affected food all over the country? Like, do you have any thoughts about that?
I personally have some, because being from Bihar,
Yeah.
my Bihari family, when they migrated to Delhi with 4 littis and a rickshaw, it was
I'm just like, did this really happen? He said it with such conviction also.
I think migration is like a superpower that us human beings have had,
Yeah.
and it shaped not just India's history but world history, the history of food and everything. Who migrates? The people who don't have anything and who seek for better things, they migrate, or people who are in trouble because of political whatever, political turbulence or their religion being whatever. But yes, these are the people who migrate.
Yes.
So like, I love that there's a theory that all the people who live in the hills, all the mountain people of the world are people who ran away from the plains, whether from war or from religious persecution or anything like that. So the world has always been racist and the world has always been whatever against certain people. And the people who run away are the migrants and they're the ones who actually make the world happen. The reason that you can go to Saket and have like a khao soi bowl for 695 rupees is because khao soi, yeah, I hated that ad, 695 rupees a couple of months ago. But that, all that is possible only because of migration. And I think that's something that is very underappreciated. When we're studying history, we're like, all these great, somehow they're all men and they're all great. And these are the people who have shaped how things happen. But really it's terrible things happening to people who had to flee and who brought cultures from one place to another that actually are the driving forces of history, if you're really thinking.
Yeah, but
I don't know how that
agree with this. I was reading something that, again, I'm very badly going back to book reference, but I was reading Daughters of the Sun, which was talking about all the females in the Mughal family, the sisters and the mothers or the daughters, and how they were technically the ones who were wholly responsible for bringing the spices, bringing the food culture, the cuisines that today exist, and Delhi very boastfully says that they are ours, whereas they aren't. They've come through a particular distance. Yeah, so that I think always stays with me, how they packed those stuff up from there and just brought them here in their own entire voyage, and we just completely disregard that entirely. Those women, the food that they brought in, the heritage that they brought in, and how it got mingled as well. They let it get mingled, of
Yeah.
course, but then we completely disregard it. So that's that.
For sure. So,
We can stop and you guys can say what you want.
आपको जरी देखना था लाइक
Yeah, you-
ने में बहुत देर से
भाई चश्मा इसको पहना दो
नहीं ठीक है आई
मैं तो randomly बस मान लिया।
zoom in.
हाँ
Zoom in.
मैं एक ADHD मीटर लिख दूंगा
Best.
every time he does something like this plus 4 balls based on
He has
height
to keep moving, then he's not. That's
Yeah,
what I
I-
think.
Disassociation petered
I
out.
was
नहीं that's ADHD
Chandrika has been second between
so much food that, as you mentioned, that in Delhi boastfully talks about all these spices and all. I believe it's also relevant to every region in India as well. That there are so many places where they're like, oh, हमारा ये famous है, where it is necessarily not there as well. So, for example, when I was editing for the blog for pav bhaji, I got to know that pav bhaji is not initially Indian at all. All the ingredients used, like the making of it might be Indian, the spices used might be Indian, but the products and the ingredients that are used are not Indian at all. So when I was hearing him speak, it also feeling very hungry while editing those vlog, because I think he also particularly zoomed in on the chole bhaturas and the pav bhajis, but okay.
I'm a professional.
But I think that that is something that is very interesting as well. But moving on from this fact to the fact that we've been at Behes rounds all over the country, do you have a favorite food that you had after the round? So I'll just give a segue as to the rounds. So after the rounds, guys, if we meet anyone and we're like, look,
I said she was going with.
yeah. They never know my next move. But so when a round gets over, we also mentally get over because we are just like RIP. Okay. So we are meeting people at the end of it, and we just can't wait to be like, let's just chill now. We just need to chill. So I think that through that chilling process as well, we've encountered such new cuisines and such new foods as well, or our staple favorite food of that region. So do you have any things that you would like to cover, like especially after a round, the things that you've tasted or of that particular region, or any particular cafe that you would like to recommend? Mr. Gurbar, you seem to have more specific memory.
I have too many recommendations.
Yeah.
Go to SK Kumar Bade Wale in Pune. They have the best vada pav in the country, I believe, and it's amazing. And just thinking about it now.
And I believe you had too many of them as well.
Yes. You can see too many of them in my life.
Yeah.
Other than that, Gangtok is a great food place. Like a lot of people don't understand this. They're like, Tibet, China doesn't like Tibet or whatever. That's all they understand. But Tibet was a long, unbroken kingdom, starting from Ladakh and Pakistan all the way down to where below Arunachal Pradesh actually.
Yeah.
This entire thing was Tibet. And I'm a big fan of the food that came out of that place. So in Gangtok, actually, there's a place called, funnily enough, Tibet Road. There are a lot of these places very wet. Some of the best thing on earth. Do you people have gone to Majnu Katila? Majnu Katila is great. You will see it in the next vlog. But that's the most authentic shit that I absolutely love. Other than that, Adil spoke about in the last vlog. There's a lot of India has been having trade with Saudi Arabia and the Middle East for the last 500, 600 years. So a lot of the dishes that have come from there, like Alfam, the chicken that he was describing was actually called Alfam. It came from there. And after adding South Indian ingredients and all, that's some of the best food in the world according to me. Go to Kerala, go to the Northeast, the rest of India. Okay. I don't really care. But yeah, these are my favorite foods. Any particular cafe and all तो नहीं recommend करना चाहिए क्योंकि हमें पैसे मिलते हैं लेकिन हाँ क्योंकि हमारे 150 viewers मिलाएंगे आपके पास लेकिन yeah that's it from me.
But Gaurav, I encountered during Varanasi that Gaurav seems to know a lot about Japanese and Korean cuisine. So do you have any recommendations of particular dishes that you would like to make?
So I can't really give you a recommendation because my palate is extremely average.
Yeah.
I like every second food I eat. And all the meals that I've had with the medicine was exceptionally good.
Yeah.
And I can't really remember of anything that I've not eaten.
Yeah.
So in that terms, even when we go to Varanasi itself and we eat Japanese food, we eat Chinese food.
We were sitting in Varanasi and ordering Korean.
Yeah, exactly.
And that place now is among the top 20 food places in India.
Yeah, Varanasi has
it got
some,
an award recently.
Yeah, Varanasi has some really good places that are also in North Indian cuisine, but also other cuisines
As you can see, I don't really eat a lot of food.
Unfair.
Yeah, please. Yes.
But probably the best meal I've ever had with the Behes team was in Mathura when we went to a Domino's store and we ate. It was probably one of the most well-earned, sweet-hearted, fulfilling meals.
Yeah.
He has a sweet.
Yes. I think fulfilling. I think fulfilling is the one reason that we like almost every food after a
So
Behes.
I have 3 things that are coming to my mind. One is, I suppose we went to this Jammu Roundway and we had it was.
Kalari kulcha.
Yes, I put it in
So
it
good.
was so good. We had that. One I definitely remember is Sattu Paratha in Patna. The whole school was kind enough to share that with us. And third, I forgotten. Yes.
But yeah, these two things I agree are just amazing. And both these things, like you said, pav bhaji, none of the ingredients I gave, and kalari kulcha and litti chokha and sattu, all these things are super duper Indian. मतलब इससे
Yeah.
Indian कोई चीज हो ही नहीं सकती.
Yeah.
मतलब brinjal came from India, and then it went and became baba ganoush in the Middle East
Baba
and other
ganoush,
Mediterranean, and then it came back. But these are the most Indian foods imaginable. And if you have not had litti chokha in your life, you are missing out. You are really
For
missing out.
sure. Yeah.
And plus, if Radiant International School in Patna is not serving it to you, then you are also missing out.
What about you, Mr. Tripathi?
Most memorable meal that I ever had with the Behes team was, there was this one time when we were trying to make a Masuri round happen, and yeah,
Trying to make the
It
ambition.
shows resilience, and
Yeah.
it didn't really go through. But what exactly happened was, Serbia had taken up this place called the Eyebrow Cottage, somewhere up in Missouri, like a little away from Missouri. I don't really remember what the place was called, but we drove all the way. Our graphic designer, Mohit Bhaiya, the infamous Navneet, and I, the three of us drove all the way there, and we found him, and a lot of things happened.
It's okay, don't tell it. We'll let it later.
We went to the Eyebrow Cottage, and these guys just wanted to, Mohit Bhaiya and Navneet just wanted to look at the scenery and chill and relax. But we, being the energetic selves that we are, every day we used to walk all the way down to the city square or whatever you call it.
Mall Road.
Mall Road, yes, Mall Road. Go down.
Yeah.
I'm used to routes, you know. So we used to go all the way there and buy local vegetables from there. We had a kitchen in the Eyebrow Cottage. So we used to get local vegetables from there, go back up to the hill where the Eyebrow Cottage was located, and cook up any whatever, like any mix. Daily our meal was mixed veg, and the mixed veg was anything and everything. Different vegetables, different cooking method, different cooking style, and we were the only ones who used to enjoy it because we were
No, they're like, मैं तो ये मंगा लिया है, pizza burger मंगा लिया, तुम लोग खाओ.
these guys are
But
great,
great.
but we made some real nice. I don't even remember what we ate all of those sabzis with. Whether we
There was something, rice only because we didn't know how to
Yes.
but there was something, there was a round vegetable.
Yeah, no. This was Kundru's brother.
Yes. Or
What is
sister.
Kundru?
Kundru is
Who is
a
Kundru and what is Kundru?
Kundru is Kamal Kabir.
Kundru is a
Lotus stems.
no. Kundru is not lotus.
Things that is all of this.
What is Kundru?
Kundru is a small purple-looking vegetable, and from the
What a
inside
vivid
is red.
description.
From the
But
inside.
also reminds me, if you go to Bihar, eat parwal ka khaja. It's the most Amazing sweet arrangement.
Yeah. So my most memorable
It's amazing.
meal. That is my most memorable.
Yeah, it was so good.
Meals that we cooked.
Yeah.
We
There
cooked
will be
many
two
more
days.
meals. We cooked many more meals also.
Yeah.
But just so
Stop
the
this.
audience likes about the, they could imagine the topography and the demography of Missouri. That is why I'm talking about that meal. But in particular,
Also, Missouri, one thing that happened that he missed out on is that he tried not to mention is that these guys came to Missouri and actually hunted for the place for 12 hours. My phone was off. Because I had lost my phone.
What's that?
Yeah.
but okay, the best. The best.
One more drink to them.
Absolutely the best meal that I've ever had. One of the top 5 for sure was when we were done with the Varanasi round and we were on our way back to Delhi. We made a stopover in Lucknow
Yes.
and over the phone, Sylvia talked to his friend. We were going to that friend's place in Lucknow, so he talked to his friend and he actually instructed him.
On call.
Yeah, on call, do this, do that, just about the marination and everything. So he did all of that, and we went to his place in Lucknow, and there was a big pot, a really really big pot, and he was cooking chicken in there, Southern style chicken, and we ran out of gas. It's been an hour and a half, and it's like 1 in the night, and the gas has run out, and nobody knows about this. Everybody's thinking it's cooking. and then Sylvia carried the whole pot to a neighbor's place, and we
I like the
cooked.
dedication. At this point, someone must have just
Yes,
would have just been like,
People were famished, they were going to sleep, but I stayed on, and there were a couple of other people who also put on, and he did the whole
You were
cooking
there
and
for moral
everything.
purpose, supporting purpose.
And we ate a lot of it, and it was absolutely, not even kidding, honestly, top 3 I will say, not even top 5. Top 3 chicken that I've ever
Just
had.
say top now. Okay. First of all,
Really tasty.
For any other.
Generally, have you ever tried Celsius cooking?
Yeah, I have. So when the office used to be in Vasundhara, I used to be there all the time during the 9 to 5 thingy. And I was there all the time, either being filmed in embarrassing things, acting as Ranveer Prayag, or just conducting online rounds or whatever, or conducting opening ceremony. So during that time, I would get he would randomly be like in the kitchen only. So I would enter the house and I would be welcomed by Paul and he would shouting from the kitchen, "Hey, Chandrika, aa gayi," or something like that. And then I would enter and he was like, "Aaj bahut tasty chicken banaya hai, aaj bahut tasty wo banaya hai." So the staple dish then, I would say the most salsa dish then was ki dal chawal with a side of chicken or pork that he would cook. So वो एकदम like one of the most comfort foods that I have had. It would be very delicious. And then also
Basically, I can cook, guys. Marry me.
Also,
Please marry me.
it's not a great.
Never she's asking so nicely.
He always boasts about his cooking. I am very sure that I don't really enjoy his cooking that much. But there are times occasionally.
Top 3 बताते मेरा आया
Occasionally he will cook something. Occasionally he will cook something which will be absolutely out of the world, and all of the other times it will be not so.
Next law.
Is it because I don't care about you enough? I just don't cook
I only
with
had nice meals. Never sounds like your problem. Chicken, please. But talking about more and more food, I believe one of the most nicest places that we've ever had food at was after the SEIS round. We were at some cafe. I'm pretty sure you might remember the name of it. And we were all sitting with the interns, and that's the best.
Near the metro station.
Near the metro station, yes. So we were there, and I had the best fries of my life. Like I know it's a very small staple food, but those French fries
think that was the first time I was introduced to the Behes.
Yes.
And that was the time when he and I were taking a cab back home, and I
Yeah.
dropped him off, and I was like, "You work with us, please. I want to make this happen." And he liked it.
I think.
And now Chandra is going to be full-time Behes staff as soon as he graduates college.
Yes. But I think that's the story with all of us as well. That
That's
this person, not just all of us. I think at this point. But I also want to talk about the fact that Gaurav, please talk about your first encounter with Nemish as well.
Oh, so fun fact.
They were in the same school, by the way.
Yeah, I've known Namish way longer than anyone in this room. Longer than a lot of people because he was traveling
Not a
with me.
flex. Sorry, Nemish.
Nobody
That's just a fact again.
I was like, oh, bichara.
Yeah.
They not really know him. He just traveled with me in the bus every morning to school, and I kind of knew a couple of his friends, and I just knew there's a guy who's sitting in the back of the bus,
Yeah.
and he seems cool. That opinion is subjective now.
Yeah. Sasta Ranbir Kapoor. What is a Ranbir Kapoor?
But yeah, never really got the chance to interact with him when I was in school.
I was so busy, so-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Busy doing what, Nemish?
Sitting in the back of the road.
I had the opportunity to know Sarah quite well back at the time because I remember he was traveling with us to Chandigarh when I was in 10th, 11th or something, and he got his bike in the bus and he hitchhiked to us to Chandigarh from Delhi and he prepared some sandwiches for all of us. Then a couple of my friends ate them, found they were quite nice. Then when we were supposed to wake up at the next day, he came back at 3 a.m. to the hotel. One of my friends was lodging in that very same room, and he came inside the room, he threw him out, and then he slept on the bed, and that guy was sleeping in the lobby. And the whole because everybody else was sleeping, and
This is not verified.
But what about you, Shadrupa? What's your first impression of any one of us that you would like to talk about? Of the Behes team? Like you approached it from the academic point of view.
Yes.
And then you got into the team. So what was the difference that you could see or what was your experience with it?
Very, very crazy children. But no, I think my first round was talent residency, Gurgaon, 2016. First day I saw him, he was taking a dedicated training. He was doing the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. He was there second day. First day Alan was there. Yes. Now. So, he was there for both the days, and I think I did. That's about it. I think these many people, or one more person, or maybe I just remember these three people. So yes. I think the first feeling from day one itself has been one of awe, I think. Yes, very, very honestly. Been of awe only. Because there were these in the so, and when you're in a school or any education institute, there's always, and that's my tough part with the education system, that there are too many tools to guide by.
Yeah.
There are too many systems to work around with, and we forget about why we are here. We are here to give a good experience to kids. We are here to have good experience for our own selves as well. Let's not forget that. And then there were these three plus people who were actually having a good time, who were sticking to their core. They had fuzzy eyes, but they were sticking to their core. They were talking sense.
Yeah.
They were still humble. They were slurring a little, but they had sense. They were bringing something new, and they were there to listen to you. They were there to resolve things for you. So yes, and I think that
I think it ended at some place.
You were talking something.
When I XP, which I've forgotten now.
You were talking about how educational institutions are very restricted
Ranking is
and
unpleasant.
people aren't really, people don't really express themselves as freely as you found us to have been expressing ourselves.
Oh my god.
thank you very much. No,
Wow, I
that
didn't
gives me
expect that.
Congratulations.
that gives me my train of thought. last couple of minutes, and not say 1 hour, in the last couple of minutes, I had been hearing this a couple of times that me trying to bring in the voice of reason, and then after me, couple more people trying to bring in that voice of reason. But I rather sort of disagree with it because there was everyone who had a reason. It was just that the action was missing maybe, but the intention was always there. The intention was always there. They wanted everyone to have a voice. So if my reasoning goes about, they knew that they had some rules. They wanted for debating. They knew that there are certain rules that they want to go about. For expressing yourself, there are no rules to go about and express yourself. So they were clear about it. So I feel, and having that space for, okay, we're hearing you, like I said sometime back. So I feel the voice of reason वाले जो वो pointers हैं और जो checklist है वो already present थी. हाँ, structure करना शायद वो over the years it came about happening, but everyone already had that. Yeah.
I think majorly voice of reason also depends on that one person who's like keeping everyone in check as well, and making sure that that intention comes from that person when it's acted upon that. That's why we're calling it the voice of reason. But not the अपने बारे में बहुत right.
Yeah, everyone had their reason, but yours was more legit. Is what we are saying.
Yours
We had our own thing behind it.
Yeah.
But you were like, what the community? And we're like, oh yeah, the community.
Yeah, because see, for example, whenever we could have our online meetings, we would always start with a joke. By we mean Salil sir would always be joking around, and at one point everyone is joking around. And then, for example, Muskan would be there in the online meetings. There would be a small guys, that's the voice of reason that we got. Then we were like, okay, ठीक है, let's talk about. So that was also you. That's what we meant with that. But also, when we're talking about Behes rounds and everything else, I believe when it comes to the running of the rounds as well, I believe we must have many stories that, oh, one time this happened, oh, one time that happened. So, for example, that we remember that there are rounds that were almost, everyone thought that these are the two teams that will be there, and then at the end moment it's like, ये कैसे आए यहाँ पे? मतलब how did they end up?
Adjudicated biased.
Yeah, adjudicated biased stories is something that. So also about the score sheets. So there are many stories about the score sheets as well. So I want to just talk about weird Behes things or weird Behes rituals that are only unique to Behes, by the way. Like I just realized that this is not something that is normal to every other working space or every other space that is there probably. So for example, that just knowing that we have to run. All the time we have to run from floor 1 to 3, and we are that impatient that we cannot wait for a lift. We just be like 2 seconds, we'll be like, oh, lift is not there, stairs will bhag rahe, there's no bhag rahe. So one thing about Gaurav I would like to tell is that I was not there when Gaurav's first round was there in Varanasi.
Yeah.
And Muskan was talking about Gaurav, and we were just casually discussing, okay? We're like, okay, so how was it? Was it having fun having Gaurav? मुझे कुछ करना ही नहीं पड़ता। She's like, क्या कहती वो पागल है यार, मेरे को why is it mad? She said कि मैं उसको बोल रही थी ये जाके ना volunteers को अरे मैं ही करूँगा। And instead of the volunteers taking it from him and going, no, he's like there on first floor, third floor, second floor, and teachers were coming to Muskan saying कि ये पागल हो गया है थोड़ा सा। I think he's everywhere at this point. He's omnipresent everywhere. So what would be your crazy like team member experiences or team member like just general Behes round things that are unique to just Behes? What would yours be?
I think last minute team additions. in the morning we're sitting on registration. They said, no ma'am, but we registered without that. We don't have it. Our roster, poor Shadul, he's already made the roster sitting at the 90 politics we didn't think so late. And he's made it with a proper job and he's made it. Poor soul. But yeah, I think last minute things, however fun they are. And my heart goes out to those kids who are definitely not able to debate. But I think we settled with that like ये नहीं हो पाएगा, 1 मिनट के बाद नहीं हो पाएगा. And we've seen that abide by टीम आके बोल रही है कि मेरा नाम टीम 1 है, मेरा नाम एनिमेटिक डिबेटर्स, एंड देन देयर विल बी थर्ड टीम मेंबर हु विल बी लाइक मेरा नाम शिनचैन का शीरो है, तो दे विल लाइक ओ हमें भी टीम नेम चेंज करना है, एंड देन एट द एंड मोमेंट दे विल बी कमिंग अप एंड चेंजिंग देयर टीम नेम्स, एंड आई फाइंड इट वेरी फनी आल्सो दैट दे हैव द कॉन्फिडेंस टू बी लाइक अरे बट यहाँ पे तुम्हारा टीम नेम लिख के ब्रो यू चेंज्ड इट इन 1 hour back, how did I expect it to be shown? What's also the craziest team name that you've got?
Craziest team name is.
Yeah. What would be your best,
Yeah,
most
so
favorite
I
one?
think I probably have something to tell on this.
Yeah.
That in one of the round of Behes when I was participating,
Yeah.
so I believe everybody has seen the great names. Gochi, I think that was the food which was
Yeah.
mentioned in season 2. We had a team name for like Gochi something something. And then the Behes team contacted us and said, चलेगा, change करो. ये क्या कर रहे हो तुम? And then we changed our team into like IPS 001 something like that. So that is probably the craziest team I have ever played at.
Yeah.
This might have to be edited out. But we had a team name in the Guwahati round, maybe. That was like Sonu Sood Ke Gote. सबसे बड़ा कोई है ही नहीं हमारे सोनू सूद के गोटे and I was like great I love this and we
Such
did the
good
best team
imagination.
name prize I gave them hugs that were too long for comfort why is this fat old man touching me in that level but I loved it so much I was like Soon Soon Ke Gote was great and then आप मुझे छोड़ क्यों रहे हो मुझे यार?
Why are you so emotional over it?
It's so good. When I see students doing things that are not okay,
Which explains Navish's participation in Behes and
Yes,
Goals.
but
But I have two. So there was one at the Indrapuram Public School. And it was, their team name was not that out of the ordinary, they just called themselves MIB. And I was like,
Oh,
okay. But they were in character.
Yeah, they
okay?
dressed up.
So they were at the IPS round, and MIB is short for Men in Black. And these three kids, they were blessed for the part. Both days, they had goggles on, black sunglasses, Ray-Bans on, coats on, और वो मैंने सोचा कि this is just for the opening closing. No, debates में भी ऐसे ही debate कर रहे हैं. They were in character the entire time, and when they were announced for the best team, thank you for the background music. When they were announced for the best team, they were in character. They were like standing like this and going like ऐसे एकदम खड़े होके कर रहे थे.
so I was in that
guys, Arhan Vishwaseni,
Yeah.
you are the one who made that happen. Love you.
Yes.
Continue.
I did ask them,
Yeah.
and they were in character, and they were probably one of the best speeches I've ever heard in a match. In terms of speaking itself, maybe great, maybe not so great, but in terms of the matter and the content they brought, extremely intelligent, extremely sympathetic. And
Just casual business.
yeah, I mean, it's not just they were like goofing around wearing suits, they were actually decent people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there is an extreme opposite to it. ये तो थोड़ा मतलब formal fun हो गया. There is another जिसको हम लोगों ने best team name भी दिया था. I remember that Salil sir and I had so much fun giggling on it, and Muskan again being the voice of second said, guys, are we seriously going to name this the best team name? And we're like, yeah. The team's name was Chatti मेरी वाइट है, करना मुझे fight है. They changed it to that. On the day to day, like कि I was पहले बहुत normal सा team name था, ठीक है? It was something like ऐसे trio debaters or whatever. And then they come on day 2 and I am the one registering them. And they're like कि guys, we want to change the team names. And I was like, हाँ क्या करना? They're like Chatti और मैं से क्या? They're like CHADD. I mean, I know Chatti, but I was like, what are you
Hey, but
saying?
there are a lot of different spellings of Chatti.
I
It
should
could
have taken that.
be CHHADI. Could be somebody from South Africa going Chatti.
Yeah.
Like they need to enunciate it.
I'm sorry, I should have taken that. I have heard the feelings of the different ways Chatti can be pronounced. I'm so sorry for that.
It's
also,
fine.
one of the team names that I just remembered, not probably the craziest, but error 404 team name not found.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so copied now. Like
Yeah.
So the very first time when a team came with that name, I think Sarcasm announced that it kind of resulted in a confusion in the team itself. नाम ही नहीं मिल रहा है कौन है? And then they eventually realized that oh shit, that's just a team name.
That's the simple. So
And
whenever
I
we
think this was in Kausalya.
yeah, this happened.
Aditya Gandhi story.
Yeah, this happened during the I think Sapphire or Behes that we had. That we were crazy. I remember there was मैं पागल हो गई थी मुझसे ये कौन सी टीम है? Because whenever we have an odd number of teams, there is one team that needs to sit idle, right? और उसको हम बोलते हैं कि this team 104 for example versus no team 1. उन्होंने अपनी टीम का नाम ही no team 1 रखा और हम पागल हम ऐसे ये क्या है ये और then he very slyly comes ex-intern and now about to be a lawyer. Aditya Gandhi named his team no team Y and then he comes and he said oh yeah haha ये मेरी टीम का नाम है और मेरा मन कर रहा था इधर आना just like that.
That Behes was lovely for me because I like Behes for my sense also. Like, this is so easy to manage.
Yeah.
You do your things, huh? You guys you fight with each other, you do your thing. I'm just gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, these people are everything. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And it was also one of the most fulfilling Behes.
It was so interactive also. You
Because
made
for the
some-
first time we got to be right there
Yeah.
with the debaters. Like
Otherwise, we're just running around.
so
like
far
all the
away.
time. Yeah.
Like so far away.
Yeah. And also the fact that it was during that time that we were finally coming back offline after such a long time. And it was also such a fulfilling experience due to that as well. Shabana, you've been at plenty of Behes rounds by now.
So
I love to make Shakul ma'am awkward by the way. She just goes into this small world. Oh, Shakul ma'am, I tell you. So after she left the official team, she always is there at every other round to help us in adjudication as well. And by adjudication we mean she's a मतलब non-official part of Behes team at all times whenever she's adjudicating. So she'll be in the she'll be in the control room going like can you just chill? Can you? So whenever she's around, Salil sir loves to embarrass her. And we were at the Sharon round, and he starts describing this girl, and she's like, this educator and Leo and Shakuna are standing there having no idea that she is the one who did her. And she's like, and I'm just looking at her, I'm like, it's you, and she's like, it's me, and I'm like, yeah, and she's like, no, तब तक हो चुका है काम, and Salil sir has introduced Shakun ma'am as well. So I would like to know that did you have the opportunity to, because I enjoyed the team a little later, so I'm asking for my curiosity also. But whenever did you have the opportunity to take care of the opening ceremony, and if you did, what was your experience with that?
Very good question. I chose not to do that. I was asked to do it in Kanpur, I suppose. There was a parallel round running. I don't remember now which one. Bad memory. But there was a parallel round running, and I was asked to do that in Kanpur. But I chose not to do that because I somehow thought, and that's how I think what I mentioned a couple of minutes, not hours back, that I personally feel that with coming from the feeling of all that the opening or the connect with the students has been set at a particular bar, and I thought that I would never go there and didn't want to mess it up. So yeah, I chose not to do that. I'm always very fearful of the opening, but I enjoy being with the audience and listening to very awkward jokes that are standing there half midway. They are stopped that no, I can't say that. Forget I said that. So yeah, I do like that.
And you were also part of the online Behes that happened, right? Yeah. So did you what was the major change that you could see in the offline and online part of it?
Probably the participants.
So rude, yeah. We still have participants. How can you be this rude? Yeah? We still have participants, girl. Please.
Also, just want to say we hold the Guinness World Record for the largest online debate even now. So Fuck you! That's not you
You're
can cut
here for
that.
it to How do you not know this?
Where?
Real everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, we're here with
Bamboo in my glass, bamboo in my ass.
Yes, something that was different for me was although I missed the control room banter because I was out of the team. So I think maybe that was same or different, I do not know. But I think what I missed was the corridor banter. The fight happening, one or two kids crying, one or two teachers running around. I want to go home or I just want to sit in the debate room. Or the it's like, can you take the score sheet? Get a new one.
Or then there would be two people on the control room talking and
Yeah.
like, can you please talk to Salim sir? Can you please talk to Shagun?
I think I missed that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't miss it at all. I want to be away from all the people saying like, please bring justice to me.
You are at the foremost of going and solving those things, okay? I have seen Salim sir be like, तुम जाओ अंदर, मैं बात करता हूँ, and now you can't say that, please.
Hey guys, just tell us when there's 2 minutes left on the clock.
You could have told that without you.
Of your team, can I take more coffee?
I'm burping, okay? If I'm burping, I'm burping. There's no like
You have too much coffee.
Just spit it out.
Water bottle
But
demand.
basically,
Water bottle demand in the Mahabharata round.
please go upstairs. There are many water bottles.
In the
Are
market.
she's saying Mahabharata?
Oh yeah. Before whatever we go any further, we got Shagun. We're like Shagun तो कभी हमारी टीम की पार्टी है। हम लड़ रहे हैं दुनिया से कि कैसे शगुन हमारी टीम में आ जाए तो हम सब की लाइफ बदल जाएगी। And we were able to make it happen after clandestine calls and everything. And Meeta Arora ma'am, who is one of the most amazing human beings on earth, by the way.
Most enthusiastic.
Yes.
And you will see her at the Behes, educators Behes that's happening on TikTok.
And you know exactly what
Even Ishan was sitting there and he was like, ये सब impromptu बोल रहे हैं." It was the same thing. Really, she's amazing and you will get to know what, where we were able to steal Shagun from.
Yeah.
Shagun is one thing, this man is another thing. He was Behes champion in Cubs for I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years. Like he just won everything that he was in.
So I probably had a streak of winning Behes. I had a hat trick basically. I won 3 consecutive rounds. That's probably the
So
most.
self-obsessed you
Yeah,
are.
seriously. Yeah, I mean in terms of debating itself, I feel like Behes really did a lot. Really did a number on me. And as you can already see, I'm sharing this podcast. But yeah, I think in terms of growth itself, it was really great. I did not envision myself winning tournaments. I only envisioned in terms of growth.
Yeah.
That how well I'm able to expand my mindset, etc.
For sure.
Which is something that I feel that Behes made me excel in. Yeah.
Also, I'll go back to the question you asked me back that what are some things that are unique or crazy there is a person who like decide to speak. Feeling lazy, I was going to say.
Feeling lazy also.
I think 2 things that stand out to me are how kids usually are restricted to the weird curriculum that they have, very restricted curriculum that they have, and then there is this suddenly a curriculum resources that they get accustomed to or then they are used to or just even so in my view what I've seen right from year 2016 is that if those kids or if any kid even tries to read or maybe go through that music clipping or that movie or that read that one poem or just read that one story, they have something else to read about or talk about or know about. The way that they are passionately talking about in the debate rooms, they make sense, don't make sense, doesn't matter. But they are talking.
Even in terms of the curriculum itself, being somebody was restricted to a small town somewhere in Delhi, not really small, but the kind of exposure I got from the curriculum
Yeah.
was really wide.
Yeah, exactly.
Because imagine somebody sitting in India and not Delhi and reading about stuff which
Thank
happened
you.
a couple of decades
What
ago.
are you saying? You come from the same system.
I mean, these days people sort of creating, curating.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again.
No, but it was really fun. I feel like the curriculum, mostly the curriculum helped because.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a subtle difference. It was
Yeah.
a stark difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I would still say subtle, Chandrika, but then because it suddenly it was not like oh there's something new you don't want to read it, you want to read it. It was like a slow like sort of introduction to this new world for them that okay अभी करके देख सकते हो करके देख सकते हो क्या
Just
अभी अच्छा
yeah.
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 So I feel it sort of just opened new things for them that we can try and like really have some different taste in music as well, or really try to read some other stuff as well than the 8th standard history that is given to us or the 11th standard restricted pages that are given to us.
But it's probably because the history that we study in school is so obsolete that
Yeah.
we feel like we need something new
But
to expand our
and
mind.
also the way it's
does
taught.
that statement actually come to them? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, unless some sort of window, some sort of window
Exactly.
comes about.
Yeah.
What I personally feel is I've never ever actually studied for 8 hours CBSE syllabus. I've never done that.
I think
But
that's
I probably have done the very same with Behes, that I was just sitting and taking all night and just studying syllabus before. And it was interesting. It was not like being like a dumbass and reading.
Yeah, and I think most of the times when we will be looking at musical selections, we'll be like, I think he look as ye
Yeah,
educational
exactly,
system is
exactly.
part. There was a surprise to me
Yeah.
as well. So when like that is what I like to talk about during taking orientations as well. It's kind of like an advertisement. I mean, are you also sick and tired of uniting on the same disputed topics? Ki democracy is
Technology is a boon.
Democracy versus socialism or Gandhiji's right or wrong. Yeah, that's also a very big term. But फिर उसके बाद वो टॉपिक्स चल रहे हैं and उसके बाद फिर सीधा ये टॉपिक आ रहा है कि which toothbrush mustache will come back in fashion then अभी नहीं होता यार क्या बात कर रहे हैं. So it's a very like for me specifically it was a starting difference. And I can attest to the people that participated from my region that it was like कि अच्छा ये भी हो सकता है यहाँ पे. And you know what was the best part about it was that the beauty of the community, how supportive the community is. Like there might be many instances where you cannot agree to that fact as well, where there might be some competitiveness that's happening. But there is also like you end up making so many new friends.
Yes.
Right. So what are like I know we are adults talking here.
Sorry.
Sorry for the like it's just like Behes podcast.
Hari Om.
Behes podcast featuring Salil sir's Hari Om.
Just a burp count here. Everyone is burping.
I shouldn't be eating fried foods.
Yeah, that's the problem, sure. But क्या करें?
Community.
जो मैं कह रही guys कहती थी मैं बेस्ट हूँ.
No, I was saying that I know we are adults here, sitting here, and it might be very creepy what I'm going to say, but don't take it in that sense. Okay, I'm just saying it to like just Abhi say it. Continue. That we have made friends with children from all over the country.
Yes.
Okay? And it's a very weird thing, guys. It's a very weird thing. Like ऐसे बच्चे आते हैं and they're like Akul and we're completing their name like yeah Akul Puri and they're like how do you know my name? Like we don't stalk you, we've just seen your name too much in the
It's because we have no life. We know that you are from 9B, from National International School,
Yeah.
Kalyani Nagar.
No, this is there. Like a lot of times, one of my good memories from the control room has been day 2 where suddenly someone walking in and saying, "Have you heard this one thing from that one debate? Go and hear that up."
Yeah.
And then someone going, "Okay, where are they? In which room? Kabhi kaun se wale?" And then going and trying and seeing, catching a glimpse for 30, 40
Yeah.
seconds and then coming out.
And then also the craziest thing was कि एक महाबेस के time पे we had to go live because so many people wanted to see a particular debate during the semi-finals or quarter-finals or something. but they couldn't fit inside the room. So there were requests coming to the control room कि please go live, हम सबको देखना है वो. So we had to go live just to show that particular debate as well. So these
I had
are-
no idea that they did that.
You only approved us to go live. Okay, come on.
Very probably because we are not on the front end of the receiving end. We are just because we have a lot of things to deal with.
Yeah.
Like score sheets, etc., the round running, etc. We don't really focus on how the tournament is going. And for them, it's such an important event, such an important thing, which is in comparison, it's a small little shred of our
Yeah.
work. So
Very
that major contrast is so much different because
Yeah.
being somebody who was on both the ends, it's because I still feel like when students come to me and say that, oh, I've lost this round, I've won XYZ, and I'm like, तो क्या हो गया? Like, मेरे को तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But then I like
Think about it.
think
from
about
their
them, yeah, be a
perspective,
little empathetic, and then like, it's a really big piece of memory for them.
yeah.
And that is how I feel the community is. Like we feel that it's really a small thing, but on the other end, it's really, really huge.
Also, people really love emotions.
Yeah.
They do, they really do. Like there are people who try to remember the motions that discuss that this one was done there, this was done there.
Yeah.
And the quick 5 seconds, I read it up the 5-10 seconds. Once I've told the motion, they're thinking about it, just getting their head wrapped around it. So yeah, that is like a line by everyone.
It's probably like one of the. I love doing this.
Yeah.
Just sitting with the students and talking about the motion itself and what can they do to prepare the motion and stuff like that.
How exactly we prepare the motions is another topic for another podcast.
But there's a lot of love and care that goes into it.
But I want to talk to Mr. Tripathi, who has been quiet for a long and on the phone. To get for a
Thinking,
paragraph.
I've been thinking.
You've been thinking, okay, and writing down in your notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, but I want to know about this one thing because you've been a part of the first ever, I would say, the group of Behes community that started. What was the community like back then? Was it crazy? Still?
The community actually started as soon as I got it.
Oh my god. You brought the party in.
So
Yeah, they're like, this is what not to do.
first ever Behes round was conducted in IPS 10 years ago. I was a participant and Sylvia, along with a few other people, they were trying to experiment with what they could do with an Indian debating platform. And that's when it started. So when I participated, and he says that a lot in a lot of opening ceremonies and everything, that Namish here is the first ever winner. There weren't a lot of participants.
Hey, I was there. I was there.
There were barely any participants, but however, some of the best debaters in the Delhi NCR circuit back then were participating. Gaurav was amongst them, I was there, Salve's younger brother, Shardul.
Okay, 10 years of Behes for me is years of, very typically speaking, years of change. Still years of consistency. Years of trying to do something new. Crazily fighting amongst each other or fighting with people. But then sticking to something that we all believe in. 10 years of Behes for me is what I truly believe in education. So thank you so
10 years
much.
of rest for me is cancelling never. Because 10 years is 2 less years than he will engage with sexually.
That's number one.
Anyway, 10 years of Behes, I believe that as Shabina mentioned, that it's all about the importance of the community and all that is important to us. And it has very crazily enough spread around the entire country. Like everywhere that we introduce Behes to for the first time ever, we can see a visible change from the day one to day two. Like there is always a change. That day one there might be a little restrictive or apprehensions or something, but on day two they're like fully into the system as well. So that's what Behes is.
I think she sold it very well. Let's end it at this. Thank you,
Conclude.
Chandrika.
For concluding
Get
remarks,
to silencer's
खत्म हो
party.
चुका है, खत्म हो चुका है।
Come
well, let's go. Good job, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Yes.
Thank you.
Basically, bye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I have another shooting schedule to go to, so if you could just pack up very quick.